Ukrainians returning to Irpin and Kharkiv face the daunting task of rebuilding after continued Russian shelling leave the cities in ruins.
Preparations are underway for the first in-person World Economic Forum in more than 2 years, as world leaders make their way to the Swiss mountain village of Davos.
Spain is feeling the heat as temperatures soar to up to 15 degrees above average for the season, putting May on track to becoming the hottest month of the century.
Football favourite Kylian Mbappe is set to continue at Paris Saint-Germain after French and international media outlets announce his extension.
It's been 3 months since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the city of Irpin is in ruins. According to local authorities, fighting and shelling has destroyed 2/3 of the buildings. The damage is estimated to be over 1.2 billion euros. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the US for their financial support to his country.
I'm grateful to President Joe Biden for immediately signing the 37 billion euro support package for Ukraine approved by Congress. This is a historic contribution to the protection of freedom in Europe.
In the Kherson region, Russian troops guard the Kakhovka hydroelectric station, a power plant next to the Dnieper River. Pro-Russian Ukrainian officials claim their presence has protected the plant from looting and possible sabotage, and that Crimea has been reconnected to a water supply.
The situation in Donbass is extremely difficult. As in previous days, the Russian army is trying to attack Slovyansk and Severodonetsk. The armed forces of Ukraine are restraining this offensive every day, and our defenders are repelling these offensive plans of Russia, disrupting them. And this is a concrete contribution to the approach of the main day, the coveted day we all look forward to and fight for, Victory Day.
Meanwhile, some residents of Kharkiv say they are eager to come home. However, the uncertainty of the fighting and the risks of renewed shelling gives families with young children pause. Well, for us older people, we want to return to our houses for the simple reason we can leave if they hit us again. But there are many families with young children. 1, 2, or 5 people in the same apartment, and they have no place to stay if they shell again. They can hardly return. In May, Ukrainian forces pushed back Russian troops to the north and east despite constant shelling. In the face of the destruction, residents face the daunting task of rebuilding their lives.
The world's top leaders from politics, civil society, media and the arts are making their way to the Swiss mountain village of Davos for the first in-person World Economic Forum in more than 2 years. 2,500 delegates will strive to find solutions to the world's most urgent challenges, such as the war in Ukraine. The forum founder says it's happening at the most consequential geopolitical and geoeconomic time since its creation, against the backdrop of a once-in-a-century pandemic.
UN Climate Summit COP26, the 1 Trillion Trees Project, and many more.
While the war will overshadow the meeting, the forum will also have panels on everything from climate change to gender inequality, football and the metaverse. Although this year's meeting will be lacking some of the star power of the past, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, who spoke at a virtual forum in January.
Monkeypox is being detected worldwide, with healthcare officials having reported around 80 cases of the disease. And the World Health Organization has reported another 50 suspected infections. On Friday, France, Germany, Belgium, and Australia joined the growing list of countries with confirmed cases.
The monkeypox virus is considered to have moderate transmissibility among humans. The likelihood of further spread of the virus through close contact, for example through sexual activities, is considered to be high.
The viral disease is fatal for about 1 in 10 people, according to the World Health Organization, and there are ways to treat the illness. People exposed to the virus are often given one of several smallpox vaccines, and antiviral drugs are also being developed.
This is a drug that was developed under sponsorship with the U.S. government, primarily to be stockpiled for use against smallpox should it ever recur or be used as a bioweapon. The particular drug, however, works against a whole family of viruses, smallpox, vaccinia, cowpox, and notably monkeypox. It's been approved for treatment of smallpox in the U.S. under the name TPOXX, and it's recently approved in the EMA for treatment of all orthopox viruses that include monkeypox. I'm very optimistic this is going to be an effective drug.
There have been previous outbreaks of the virus in other regions, such as West and Central Africa, and in Nigeria, around 3,000 cases are reported a year, mostly in rural areas.
Spain is feeling the heat after temperatures soar, reaching up to 15 degrees above average for the season, with some areas reaching a scorching 44 degrees Celsius on Saturday. This unprecedented heat wave could make May the hottest month of the century. It is estimated that about 2,000 people a year die in Spain due to excessive heat. Scientists warn that heat waves could become much more common and intense globally in the years to come due to the impact of the climate crisis. The Spanish Meteorology Agency says the climates of North Africa are moving towards the south of Europe. This means that by the middle of the century, longer and more intense periods of drought and, of course, higher temperatures will be more frequent. For example, the summers in a relatively cool Spanish city such as La Coruña could be similar to the climate of the Moroccan city of Casablanca. The Spanish government has issued extreme heat warnings in several areas of the country, advising all to stay hydrated, limit physical activity, and to stay in cool areas whenever possible.
Migrants at the Mexican border cannot enter the United States without a visa, even to claim asylum. This comes as a US judge reinstated a soon-to-expire COVID-19 ruling imposed by former President Donald Trump after Republican governors from more than 20 states demanded it continue. Doctors Without Borders say the policy has led to overcrowding at border camps and that there is no access to shelter or services.
A moment of protest on the red carpet at Cannes. During a premiere, an unidentified woman tore off her clothes to reveal the message, "Stop raping us," scrawled across her body. The message was written on the colors of the Ukrainian flag, referencing suspected war crimes committed by Russian forces since the war began. A crowd of people with Danish flags and music welcomed Queen Margrethe of Denmark as she arrived at Copenhagen's Tivoli Gardens to celebrate 50 years on the throne. The celebration was originally going to take place on January 14th, but it was postponed because of COVID-19. Plans for the celebration were primarily shaped around the Queen's love for ballet, music, and art.
Footballer Kylian Mbappe will play with Paris Saint-Germain for another 3 years. According to daily newspaper L'Equipe, the French superstar who secured his team 36 goals this season stays. Months of negotiations with Real Madrid failed to secure the 3-time consecutive winner of the League One Player of the Year award a contract with the Spanish side. But French and Spanish media sources both say the forward will announce his extension on Sunday.
Olympique Lyon beat Barcelona to win the Champions League finals, putting it on top of European women's football. It is the 8th time the team has won the title, beating Barcelona 3-1. Lyon also won the Champions League in 2020, but the match also marks a historic moment. Sonia Bonpaster is the first woman to win the Champions as both a player and a coach. She was part of the team that won the trophy in both 2011 and 2012. All 3 of Lyon's goals were scored in the first 35 minutes of the match, taking the cup back from Barcelona, which won it last year. A landmark moment for commercial space travel. For the first time, American aerospace giant Boeing has docked a capsule named Starliner to the International Space Station. Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, achieved the same feat 3 years ago. The successful trip marks another step down NASA's plan to have competing U.S. companies fly crew capsules to the station.
Here you can see Starliner and Rosie the Rocketeer is
on board Boeing's capsule was a dummy named Rosie the Rocketeer, named after World War II's Rosie the Riveter. The next step for the company is to run another test, but for the second round, the capsule will have to successfully dock with a crew on board.
I have a lot of friends who work there.